Hi, Teach Rachel back with episode 6 of how to use Chinese to teach English without using Chinese. Today's a biggie, the L. We've all heard it, a purpo, apo on the table. We've all heard it. And I love this one. What is this? It's a ba. Okay, it's a ba. This one took me a long time. In over 10,000 classes, I'm still struggling to get students to get that L. And it's a big one. So grab some coffee, put your feet up. Let's tackle this one. So every day, I hear this. Every day. Shh. 老师来了. 老师来了. Even if you don't know what it means, I know you've heard it. And it is an L bomb. It's a great big fat L bomb. There are 3 L's in a row. 老师来了 3. It means the teacher has come, the teacher is here. 3 L's. It's a native phoneme to Chinese. It is. So why is this such a problem? The L is used only at the beginning of words in Chinese. It's never in the middle and it's never at the end. So they don't have the muscle memory to say an L at the end of the word. And if you remember, most of their words end in vowels. And in their muscle memory, L is followed by a vowel. And naturally, when you're learning a language and you don't have the muscle memory, you put it all together, you're going to make the closest movement to what you know. And the O is the closest to what they hear, what they see. And I guarantee that their Chinese teacher teaching them English is teaching them O as well. And they mimic it. And that's where it starts and that's where it goes. And it just continues. So delving into this problem, I really had to figure this out. So I looked at English a little bit. And we speak English, we grow up speaking it, it's no big deal. But if you dig into it, we actually have 2 L sounds. We have the regular L, where your tongue stays flat. Leaf, black, lick. It's flat. Your tongue stays flat. Then we have what we call the dark L, and your tongue curves in the back. Apple, build, world, all. And then we have words that are mixed, like little. So as someone learning the language and listening and hearing it, they are hearing the 2 different L sounds. So all does sound like ah to them because it doesn't compute in their head. And if you watch them say the word little, you'll see their pink little tongue poke out for the first L, and then they do lit O. And it just, good thing I already have gray hair. Because it drives me crazy. It's like, how can I get this to work? How do I make them understand that they can make this sound? But they just have to change the order of how they do it. So here's where I had to change some of my thinking. We have to train their muscles to work differently than what they know. This is about muscle movement and muscle memory. And one of the things we do as English speakers is we tend to say la, la, la when we're correcting it. And unfortunately, the focus of this, and the kids pick up on it right away, is the ah, not the l. They do that. So going back to that character earlier that we see, 老师来了, is, there it is, la. And this is a character that they're familiar with. This is a sound they're familiar with. Ends in an sound. We don't like that. But it is much more effective to say la, la, la when correcting this L. One, it keeps the mouth closed. So we're getting out of that ah and that ooh, forward ooh. And we're doing la, relaxed muscles. And so how I use this is I take the apple, I call it my parent deterrent, that's for another lesson, and we do apple, la, 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 la. And invariably, every time, apple, la, la. And so you watch the muscles move and they go into that oh, O position. And so this is something you can keep repeating with them. Apple, la 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 la. And yes, I do over exaggerate the la. Sometimes I'll be crazy with it. Apple, and stick my tongue way out. And the reason I do this is because I want to work on that muscle memory. I want that tongue going forward. And when we speak, we don't speak apple and stick our tongue out. We don't do that. But breaking the habits and creating new ones requires some over exaggeration here. Now, if you listen carefully, you're going to hear mom or dad off to the side doing the same thing. They start doing it, and you'll hear apple, la 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 la, apple, la la la. So the parents are watching this, and they really like this. They really like that you're working on this L because they know they're not saying it right. So another thing I do is have them smile to say the L. And this, again, is more muscle training. And we're breaking that habit of these forward O, ah, rounded forward muscles, and we're going back. E, and this is breaking that habit. And so, apple, apple. And again, they will do apple. And they make these funny faces, but they always go into this O first because that's what their muscle memory is. And this is why we use this, is to break that habit of the O and retrain the muscles and get it into, we want that flat tongue forward position and not the whole rounded mouth O. So this works really well. And so doing big smile, apple, la 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 la. And keep practicing that over and over and over. And this takes time. It doesn't happen in one session. It's much easier if you're in one-to-one because you can work on it more. Group classes are a lot harder. And it's also very important to turn sideways so they can really see what's happening. You can get close, apple, and do it that way. But it really, really helps them. Apple. And they're watching this muscle movement and they're trying to mimic it. Now, there's another one that's a little bit harder and I reserve for older students, more advanced students. And that's where you have that L in the middle of a word, like cold and world. And invariably, oh, I have such a bad coat. No. Or this is the biggest animal in the word. Ugh, all right. So in these cases, what I have the students do is I have them drop a short E sound before the L. And by doing this, you're taking the tongue from an O and you're dropping it. You're taking that from the middle of your mouth and you're dropping it flat. Cold. And you're dropping that E, drops it flat to go into that L position. And this only works with the students who can make a good, strong, short E. If you try this on the younger ones, they're not going to get it. They're not going to get it. So I reserve this for older students who have that. And remember, again, this one is not going to happen in one class. Sometimes I get those exceptional students who make this beautiful L, and I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. And I get really excited because I know how hard it is to move that tongue into that position. And so practice, practice, practice. I tell them to use a mirror. I get out the handy dandy mirror. Let's practice in a mirror. Watch your mouth. What we don't want is the O. We want O. And have them use a mirror to practice so they can see themselves what's happening. And parents love this. And the parents are going to help them work on it. So that's it for the L. It's a biggie. It's repetition, muscle memory, and practice. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.